All right, let him have it, let him have it. Go ahead. So with your permission, graduates, deans, faculty, guests, you may be seated. So we will begin with a land acknowledgement. We respectfully acknowledge the land on which we gather is the occupied, unceded, and seized territory of the Lenape. Lenape means real person or original person. It is essential to remember that Lenape collectively is a living and breathing community. Let us commit to the struggle against the forces that have dispossessed the Lenape and other indigenous people of their ancestral homelands and traditional territories. We must continue to build our solidarity, and kinship with Native peoples across the Americas and the globe. Let us commit to supporting and defending all marginalized people who have been stripped of their rights and to self-determination. Truth and acknowledgement are critical to building mutual respect and connections across all barriers. Please join me in taking a moment to honor the land, life, and labor of the indigenous communities where you reside. Commencement is a special day every year, and today, I would like to be one of the first to acknowledge how incredible you are for reaching this moment during such a poignant time. History is filled with tests of our understanding of humanity and our relationships with one another. We appear to be enduring another tough one. But today, you can join us and everyone in attendance in celebrating the hope and the accomplishment that your commencement day represents. In social work and beyond, your refined skills and expertise in research, advocacy, policymaking, direct practice will forge the tools you'll use to build a better future. In this next chapter, your journey continues as you work to improve and elevate the standard of living for so many in a rapidly evolving ecosystem. As you progress, we hope that the paths you take and the approaches you develop emphasize kindness, compassion, empathy, and love to encourage our understanding of each other. You may be graduating today, but still commit to becoming lifelong learners, always willing to explore how to create meaningful and lasting change. Now, without further ado, I have the pleasure of introducing Dean Melissa Begg, who became Dean of the Columbia School of Social Work in 2019. Dean Begg is a population health scientist who has devoted more than 30 years to developing the strongest possible evidence base for human health and well-being. She is deeply committed to the pursuit of better science for a better society through research, education, practice, and collaboration. Dean Begg previously served as Columbia's Vice Provost for Academic Programs. She was also co-director of the Irving Institute for Clinical and Translational Research. Her early research focused on methods for evaluating associations from sibling studies, especially as applied to early life determinants of adult health. She has directed a number of NIH-funded training programs, including 2 career development programs to promote diversity in health sciences. Dr. Begg was given the university-wide Presidential Award for Outstanding Teaching all the way back in 2006. As an academic administrator, she has focused on conveying interdisciplinary scientific teams, developing innovative curricula, creating academic mentorship programs, and advancing diversity in research workforce. I give you Dean Melissa Begg.
Class of 2022, congratulations and thank goodness for tents. You have achieved what you perhaps thought was impossible, or at the very least, uncertain. You've triumphed over innumerable obstacles to reach this point during an enormously difficult period for yourselves, for your communities, and for your world. I know that you all have suffered grief and loss, and I want to pause here to honor everyone we have lost in the past few years, including our beloved students and faculty, Susan Chuang, Jiazheng Wang, and Dr. Kathy Boudin. May their light shine on in our hearts. And here you are. You have endured, despite tremendous economic and social damage being wrought by the multiple pandemics of COVID-19, anti-Black racism, anti-Asian hate, anti-Semitism, homophobia, transphobia, and other forms of oppression too many to enumerate. I know you want to change that. We live in a society that not only tolerates unnecessary suffering, but continues to create it through unjust, ill-conceived, and thoughtless policies. But if we created those policies, then we can change them. That is the challenge before us, and that's why I'm glad you're here. You have risen to challenge after challenge, and you have the scars to show for it. Yet you are here. You did it. Yes, you did it. But how did you do it? I'm sure that most of you would give at least some credit to your family, your friends, and your loved ones. They encouraged you, they supported you, and they sustain you through the toughest moments. So please take a moment, turn to them, give them a hand. Now, one of the characteristics that you have demonstrated over and again is that of strength. What does it mean to be strong? If you look up the definition, you'll find phrases like the capacity for exertion or endurance, or the power to resist force, or even moral power, firmness, or courage. And that made me think that we are often subject to myths around the concept of strength. What are those myths? When it comes to true inner strength, I think there are 3 things we should keep in mind. First is the problem of confusing strength with having all the answers. At times, we all are going to land on different answers. Audre Lorde talks about the differences between us, noting that difference must be not merely tolerated, but seen as a fund of necessary polarities between which our creativity can spark like a dialectic. There was a wonderful professor at Columbia, Dr. Catherine Phillips. She was the Reuben Mark Professor of Organizational Management. Sadly, we lost her far too young at the start of 2020. But Dr. Phillips did fascinating research on the effectiveness of teams in the workplace. And one of her key findings was that diversity in the workplace generates greater creativity and problem-solving ability. And not just because people brought different perspectives to the table, but because compared to homogeneous groups, diverse groups were much more likely to interrogate accepted wisdom. Nobody has all the answers. I know you all arrived at Columbia with a wide variety of experiences, perspectives, and wisdom. And that is a truly wonderful thing. Part of strength is listening and taking in, rather than speaking and holding forth. a strength I hope that you will rely on in your careers ahead. Second myth, the myth of strength as invulnerability. Author and social work professor Brené Brown warns us against this fallacy. She defines vulnerability as the willingness to do something when there are no guarantees. While we are conditioned to view vulnerability as akin to weakness, Brown smashes that perception and instead calls out vulnerability as pure courage, the very opposite of weakness. Many conflate strength with having to seem perpetually infallible, unflustered, and unafraid. Many organizational leaders fall into this trap, and record numbers of leaders are currently seeking therapy. Now, that's a good thing. Do we think this is a coincidence? Many have outdated views on how strength and leadership show up in our day-to-day lives, and they eschew vulnerability. I include myself in that group. My area of growth is being a white woman, leading a school that aims to become more anti-racist. This work cannot be done without deep introspection that at times forces me to confront parts of my inherited privilege in ways that are deeply uncomfortable and unsettling. All of this is to say, it's not an easy journey, but a very necessary one. As you leave us here at Columbia and go out to pursue your amazing careers, remember to show your vulnerability, especially when you least want to. Then nothing, literally nothing, can get in your way. Third, the third is the challenge of sustaining strength over time. I was astounded recently to learn that the roots of the sequoia, the redwood tree, are very shallow, rarely extending deeper than 3 feet into the earth. Isn't that shocking? These beautiful trees grow and endure for centuries. How do they do it? It turns out that the roots of the individual trees actually intertwine among each other underground, lending strength to one another. As social workers, you will engage in invigorating, infuriating, inspiring, and exhausting work, and it will take a toll. You must remember to adjust your own oxygen mask before attending to others. We're taught to do the opposite, so you'll have to work at it to maintain your strength. Please remember that one of our greatest strengths is our interconnectedness to help one another, especially in times of trouble and turbulence. And 2022 is certainly a time of trouble and turbulence. There are developments in our country that were unimaginable even 5 or 10 years ago. Still, I believe in hope, and I want you to join me. Let's make sure our roots wrap around each other's to save, to sustain, and to support. We cannot do this work without hope. In the beautiful words of poet Jericho Brown, hope is always accompanied by the imagination, the will to see what our physical environment seems to deem impossible. Only the creative mind can make use of hope. Only a creative people can wield it. Let's strive to be that people. Again, congratulations, class of 2022. Our hope is in you. Thank you. It is now my very great honor to introduce Wanda M. Holland Green, our commencement speaker. Wanda M. Holland Green is head of school at the Hamlin School in San Francisco, a mission-driven institution dedicated to best practices and innovation in the education of girls and young women. She is nationally recognized and respected as an experienced leader in education with a passionate voice and a powerful presence that inspire communities to achieve equity and excellence for all children. Now, for the past 32 years, Holland Green has focused her professional time and attention on a wide and varied range of issues in education, such as mental health and emotional well-being, anti-racism and cultural competency, neurodiversity and learning differences, gender inequity and stereotype threat in the classroom, effective performance appraisal systems for teachers, and global citizenship. She has taught, mentored, and inspired thousands of children on the East and West Coasts, and her writing, speeches, seminars, and professional presentations have permeated the educational and political landscapes from San Francisco to Cape Town. Prior to Holland Green's tenure at Hamlin, which began in 2008, She served for 11 years as a senior administrator at the Park School in Brookline, Mass. And she began her career in education in New York City at the Columbia Greenhouse Nursery School and continued thereafter at the Chapin School, where she was a teacher and the school's first director of student life. Currently, she is vice chair of the Columbia University Board of Trustees, a member of the Board of Regents of Bishop O'Dowd High School, a Pahara Aspen Education Fellow at the Aspen Institute, and a former trustee of Head Royce School, Lick Wilmerding High School, Concord Academy, the Chapin School, and Hamilton Families. A former faculty member of the National Association of Independent Schools Aspiring Heads Fellowship, Holland Green continues her mentorship and advocacy for brand new heads of school as an executive coach. A proud Brooklyn native, Holland Green graduated from the Chapin School in 1985 and earned a bachelor's degree from Columbia College in 1989, majoring in English literature with a minor concentration in psychology. She holds a Master of Arts degree in curriculum and instruction and a Master of Education in private school leadership, both from Teachers College, Columbia University. Holland Green is a past recipient of the Alumna Achievement Award from Columbia College Women, was named one of San Francisco's most influential women in the Bay Area business in 2014, and in 2015 was awarded a Women Making History Award by the San Francisco Commission on the Status of Women. She's a 2020 recipient of the John Jay Award, an honor bestowed annually to Columbia College alums for distinguished professional achievement. Mary Oliver poetry, novels and memoirs by women of color, Soul Cycle bike rides, live music at SF Jazz, performances at the Berkeley Rep, journal writing, and travel provide much-needed rejuvenation and quiet pauses between her commitments to her profession and to her spouse, Robert L. Green, Jr., and their sons, David and Jonathan. Please join me with giving a very warm welcome back to Columbia for Wanda M. Holland Green.
We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. We who believe in freedom cannot rest. We who believe in freedom cannot rest until it comes. I have opened this commencement address with a song because I am a preacher's daughter. And I learned at an early age, while sitting on church pews in Brooklyn, that music is an invitation to listen closely. I chose a song sprung from the creative mind of a kindred spirit of yours, Dr. Bernice Johnson Regan, a social activist like all of you. Dr. Regan was the musical and political backbone of the a cappella group Sweet Honey in the Rock. Do you know Sweet Honey in the Rock? I hope so. And we who believe in freedom cannot rest is the opening line of Ella's song, a poignant and urgent piece of music that Dr. Regan wrote in honor of civil rights and human rights activist Ella Baker. Many people associate the struggle for civil rights and human rights with people like Rosa Parks or Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. But at today's commencement, I call forth the spirit of Ella Baker because she was, in my estimation, a powerful and effective social worker, a behind-the-scenes but nonetheless courageous leader who is deeply concerned about addressing the needs of vulnerable individuals and bringing resources and support to marginalized communities. After Ella Baker graduated as valedictorian from Shaw University in Raleigh, North Carolina, she came here to New York City to shake up the world. She died in New York City in December 1986 when I was a sophomore here at Columbia, and her resting place is not too far from where we are in Flushing, Queens. The title of this commencement address is We Who Believe in Freedom, and it is inspired by the great Ella Baker and all of you, the extraordinary class of 2022. Before I go any further, I want to say thank you to Dean Begg for the incredible opportunity to celebrate with you today. I feel like a part of the Columbia School of Social Work family, not only because of my deep ties to Columbia University, but because I am an educator. And I believe that educators and social workers are first cousins. So I'm in the family. I honor Dean Begg today, all of the deans, as well as the devoted staff and professors who collectively make Columbia School of Social Work a fertile ground for change makers and justice seekers who take root and then, on days like today, take flight. There is no doubt in my mind that you, the class of 2022, believes in freedom. And you don't just believe in it, you have committed yourselves to working toward it. With passion and purpose, today is the day when you go forth, credential in your hand, courage in your heart, confidence in your spine, and credibility from Columbia University in your footsteps as you walk toward your purpose. I know what it feels like to move forward from this university and build a career of meaning and impact, and I wish you similar success and satisfaction. My intention this afternoon is to give you something to think about long after we have departed from South Lawn. I want you to leave here thinking about the importance of your own freedom. I want to offer you a perspective about how that freedom should look and feel. And why should I dwell on this idea of freedom, you may ask? Because I believe strongly that your freedom is directly correlated to your effectiveness in the field of social work. Before you press forward in pursuit of freedom, equity, and justice for others, you must first be the author of your own liberation. Before you look at the structures and the systems or the policies and the protocols, I want you to take a close look at yourself. I want you to be free. So, soon-to-be graduates of the Columbia School of Social Work, what does it mean to be free, and how will you know if you are? I have 3 responses to that question, and the first one focuses on the importance of authenticity. Freedom drips with authenticity. When you are your authentic self, you are not covering up essential aspects of your identity or expending your precious time and energy pretending, conforming, and shape-shifting into someone you barely recognize. When you are your authentic self, you are not curating your life with perfect Instagram posts and fake news feeds about how happy and intact your life is. When you are your authentic self, you are proud to share that today you are a first-generation graduate student. Who's out there who's first-gen? You celebrate the fact today that you completed this degree while raising your children, Trina Nurse, and all of the caregivers out there. When you are real about who you are and where you come from, you are not ashamed of your bank account balance, your natural hair, your love for God, or the fact that you're an introvert who actually prefers Zoom. When you are your authentic self, you fly your rainbow flag as a member of the LGBTQIA+ community. And you tell your adoption story, and you share your immigration journey, and you view your learning differences as a gift. When you are real about who you are, you can tell people about your resistance to particular gender labels, and you can boldly ask for accommodations for your physical disabilities, and you can share your place of birth with pride. Big up to all my Brooklyn natives. So are you free today is my question, or are you still contorting yourself to fit in a box that you did not build, or check a box that does not actually speak to the person who you are? I want you to be wholly yourself as you serve and lead in the field of social work. Because if you can walk through life as a liberated individual, your authentic example will invite others to be themselves in your presence. So many of the children and adults whom you will serve have received explicit and consistently negative messages about their worth. And they will need you to remind them again and again that they are deserving of better treatment and that they should expect systems that protect them rather than strip away their human rights. Your unique story is the house where your superpowers reside. You have developed knowledge and essential skills because of the life experiences you have had, even the difficult ones. So please, please bring your story forward and be free. Every person at the Hamlin School where I work and lead, they know who I am. They know where I come from. They know about the sandwiches I used to buy from the bodegas in Bushwick. I jump double dutch and play kickball with the students at my school. They know that I hate to drive and that I am not ever, ever, ever going camping in the woods. That I prefer the subway to driving and that I will root for the New York Knicks no matter how many times they disappoint me. I bring my whole self to work, and in doing so, I signal that my school is a place that welcomes and centers wellness and belonging. Now, there's one caveat to authenticity. I am not telling you to let it all hang out at work and blur the professional lines between you and the individuals and communities you are serving and leading. Be responsible for the energy you bring to work and ensure that your personal struggles don't become someone else's professional burden. I believe that you will be most effective in the field of social work if you can offer the world one beautifully authentic and fully integrated self. Many of you arrived at the doorstep of social work after navigating a path of brokenness. Perhaps you came to Columbia School of Social Work because there was stress or trauma or grief or loss or danger in your own life. Maybe there were too many unnecessary hurdles to jump over, and you are now determined to make life better for others. Your empathy can be a beautiful bridge, so walk across it and get to work. Again, I ask, how do you know if you're free? My second answer focuses on humility. As I said at the outset when I spoke about the great Ella Baker, professionals in the field of social work are committed to the liberation of others. People like us who chose and choose everyday helping professions have a steadfast focus on the health and well-being of individuals in large groups. And our explicit goal is to see people thrive. That said, we have to do our work with great humility. We cannot do this work on our own, and sometimes we won't be able to affect change as quickly as it is needed. It would be arrogant at worst and exhausting at best to believe that we can be all things and do all things. We are not gods, we are not saviors, we are not better, we are blessed. In social work, your humility is not a sign of weakness. Your humility is a sign of a respectful recognition of the limits of your knowledge and experience. Your humility will allow you to become curious about others and not assume that everything you know and learned here at Columbia will fit neatly and be applied to daily practice. I bet you already know that, because one of the things I love best about the School of Social Work is that your education here has included field experience that has connected you to real people and real outcomes for them. Humility in this field also means staying grounded in the reality that how you see yourself might not be the way others perceive you as you walk through the world. Dr. Courtney Cogburn, one of your extraordinary professors, whom I have had the pleasure of hosting in my home, and one who has helped the Columbia trustees become better versions of ourselves. She reminds us to consider our identities, but also our positionality, to be aware of who we are as well as where we stand relative to other people in our midst. How you see yourself is certainly important, yet it is also essential that you humbly understand how you might be perceived. The reality is that your Columbia degree gives you power and privilege, and that's not a bad thing. The question is, what will you do with your power and privilege? Recently, I was reading about one of you distinguished graduate students, Samantha from Akron. I don't know if you're out there, but I loved it when you said this. I recognize that access to a master's degree in social work is a privilege. So it's important for me to do my part in uplifting historically silenced voices with limited positionality as the fuel for systems change. I love that, Samantha. Love that. Author and Professor Toni Morrison would wholeheartedly agree with you, Samantha, because she said to her students, when you get these jobs that you have been so brilliantly trained for, remember that your real job is that if you are free, you need to free somebody else. So as you go forth today, embrace your identity and remember your positionality. As you seek to clear obstacles from the path to well-being, justice, and freedom, I trust that you will do so with humility. Listen as you lead and work with others to create the conditions that allow people to have agency and independence rather than needing you for everything. Some of the hardest times I have faced as a leader in education is when a caring, well-intentioned professional begins to crave dependency and develops an insatiable need to be seen or viewed as a hero or a savior. I will tell you this, don't become absorbed by self-importance, and don't abandon your humility. It's not a good look, and most importantly, it's not good social work. For the third and final time, I will ask you this afternoon, how do you know if you are free? How will you recognize your own freedom? My final response focuses on the importance of rest. Now, you heard me sing, "We who believe in freedom cannot rest," as the first line of Ella's song. But I did not mean that we should sacrifice our health and wellness in order to do this sacred work. We must actually rest. Yes, you can applaud for that. This sacred social work requires having enough room to receive, to hold, and to share the burdens of others. Each day you will choose to stand in the gap between people and their unmet needs. That work is highly necessary and maybe at times highly uncomfortable. Make no mistake about it, there will be a cost for caring. You will come home exhausted, having given your body and soul to the work that you will do. There will likely be a time when you experience burnout, which is that depleted, aching sense that you have nothing left to give. But you will only be effective in your work if you take the time to restore your energy and rest. Now, let me be clear that rest and sleep are two different things, and you need both. Rest is not the same as sleep. Now, you should, of course, get high-quality sleep. I have an alarm clock, and it rings at 10:15 p.m. so that I remember to wind down and get into bed before 11 p.m. I'm still trying to learn to listen to that clock. I have learned the hard way that if you are in a helping profession, the work is never going to invite you to stop. I will say that again. If you are in a helping profession like ours, the work will not invite you to stop. In fact, the work will seduce you to keep going. Write one more email, read one more page, make one more phone call. That feeling of productivity and crossing tasks off lists. I know people out like me, you get an adrenaline rush when you cross things off. You write things so you can cross them off so you can get that rush. I know you do. And it feels good to be productive. But I will tell you this, sleep feels better. Sleep feels better. Many years ago, when I told my medical doctor that I was having trouble selecting healthy midnight snacks, I was talking about hummus and, carrots, and I live in California now, so avocado and ripe tomato. And she said, "Wanda, I have a simple remedy for you. Go to bed. You're not hungry. You're awake." She was right. Why was I still awake 5 hours after dinner? After over 30 years as an educator, I'm still working hard to go to bed at a reasonable hour. I encourage you to do the same. I don't know about you, but I picked up some very unhealthy sleeping patterns in graduate school. Maybe that was just me, but going to sleep quite late. Rest is something altogether different. When you rest your mind and your body, you seek stillness. You stop all the inputs. You make room for silliness. Maybe you go for a short walk, you listen to the rain, you read a poem, you take a few deep breaths. Maybe you dance around to Silk Sonic, that's what I do. Drink a latte very slowly. Maybe you put down your phone. Hang out with your friend, that one who makes you laugh until your belly hurts. Stare at a beautiful piece of art. Maybe you put down your phone. Pray, meditate, immerse your body in water, scream, sing. Did I suggest that you put down your phone? You get my point. Get some rest. You need it. And the work you are taking on requires the best version of yourself. So please set aside rest time every day. We who believe in freedom are authentic, humble leaders who know how to find rest for our bodies and souls. And that is what I want you brilliant graduates of the Columbia School of Social Work to think about today and in the days ahead. You are going forth into a world that is in desperate need of your talent, your time, and your tenacity. The pandemic has amplified inequities and elevated the need for community health and healing. Never have I seen such antisocial, dysregulated behavior in human beings. The only way to meet this moment in history is for you to walk in freedom so that you can be of service to others. Again, be an authentic, humble leader who knows how to rest. I don't have to tell you what you already know, that we are living in the midst of fundamental challenges to democracy around the world. There are fierce debates about the very chronicle of American history: anti-Black racism, anti-Semitism, anti-Asian Pacific Islander racism, all of it raging. Women at risk for making decisions about our own bodies. The safety of the transgender community, so much is at risk. Entering the field of social work at this time is neither for the faint of heart nor for the merely intellectually committed. This moment calls for your emotional commitment, your time, your talent, and your tenacity, as I've said. This moment calls for the vision and the skill and the empathy to understand human complexity. I know you've gained that and so much more at Columbia. Ella Baker said, basically, I believe that human beings want to live in a decent world. Basically, I believe human beings want to live in a decent world. I believe that too. And now you're really gonna think I've lost my mind, but I'm not making this up. May 14th is the National Day of Decency. I am not kidding. It is. You can look it up. May 14th is a day set aside to celebrate the basic standard of civility that every single human being deserves. I cannot think of a better day for the commencement of Columbia's School of Social Work. So congratulations to all of you, and much love to the Hamlin alumni who are celebrating this moment, my beloved Zoe, as well as Christina's daughter Coco. I know you're out there, I love you so much. There they are. We who believe in freedom will not rest until it comes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Wanda, for touching our minds and our hearts. Next, it is my great pleasure to introduce our doctoral program student speaker, Younggun Lee. Younggun, or YG Lee, is a PhD candidate studying contemporary approaches to health promotion among sexual and gender diverse people in global settings. While at CSSW, YG worked under the mentorship of Professor Elwin Wu, as well as in collaboration with colleagues at the Social Intervention Group and the Global Health Research Center of Central Asia, conducting HIV prevention intervention research with sexual and gender diverse people in Kazakhstan. And after CSSW, YG will continue research and training as the postdoctoral associate in intersectionality and sexual and gender minority health at the Rutgers University School of Social Work. YG.
Thank you, Dean Begg. Before I start, does anyone have a disinfectant in like a spray form by any chance? Anyone? Can I? Yeah, hand sanitizer, yeah. So if you're confused, I am too. I don't know why I did that, but I like to call that ritual disinfecting against racism and cis heteronormativity at this institution. Thank you. Thank you. Again, thank you, Dean Begg. Thank you to my colleagues and the members of the doctoral program committee for giving me the honor of speaking today. Thank you to everyone who has been involved in putting this ceremony together. We're in person, y'all. So thank you. Family and friends, welcome. It is heartening to have you join us here today in celebrating the class of 2022 graduates of Columbia School of Social Work. As social workers, we know that family plays a key role in the development of an individual over the course of their life. And family members, each of you must have played a very important role in this outstanding achievement of your loved one. Otherwise, you might not have been invited to the ceremony. I'm joking. I'm glad you're here. In South Korea, where I'm from, we publicly honor and celebrate family members during the month of May, which is commonly referred to as Family Month. May 5th is designated as Children's Day, and May 8th is Parents' Day. Here in the United States, we celebrated Mother's Day last week, and we'll be celebrating Father's Day next month. But these celebrations of family are not always relevant or possible for many people, especially those who have distanced themselves from or been rejected by their family of origin. This is often particularly true for members of the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer, or LGBTQ community, of which I am a part and which I've had the privilege of studying and working with during my time at CSSW. Nearing the end of my time here at CSSW, I have been reflecting on why I started my PhD to begin with. I wanted to explore ways of promoting the health and protecting the lives of LGBTQ people in parts of the world that have not been the focus of much study. But of course, this is not an issue in faraway places. We have seen in recent weeks and months, right here in the US, numerous states enacting legislation that refuses to allow discussion of non-traditional families in public schools, that bans transgender students' participation in sports and use of the bathrooms that match their gender identity, and in the most extreme case, that makes it a crime to provide medical care to transgender youth. We're also continuing to fail to protect the lives of Black and brown trans women and to include trans and non-binary voices in the reproductive justice movement. Even closer to home, we must ask, what and how well are we as a community doing to address the needs of LGBTQ clients, research participants, students, staff, and faculty. Despite this history of violence against LGBTQ people, both here in the US and around the world, many of us and our predecessors have worked, protested, and fought hard to take up space and change ideas about family. Indeed, regarding people not tied to you by birth or law as your family is something that queer and trans people have been doing for a very long time. For instance, in the construction of chosen families among members of the ballroom community that originated not far from here. Yeah. Chosen families consist of individuals forming kinship bonds with the intention of providing love, support, and protection to one another. Today, I want to honor that love, support, and protection I have seen and received along the way to this special moment. Finally, let me add one more thing about Family Month in South Korea. May 15th, tomorrow, is Teachers' Day. Teachers, or anyone from whom one has sought or received knowledge, wisdom, guidance, and comfort, are also honored and celebrated as family. We would not be here today without the support of our teachers, mentors, and colleagues who, for me, have become part of my chosen family. Congratulations, class of 2022. Thank you for listening.
YG, that was just beautiful. Thank you. Now, it is my joy to introduce our master's program student speaker, Ashley Cole, Jr. Ashley Cole Jr., who's better known as Ash, is a native of Far Rockaway, Queens. I'm from Queens. A graduate of Queens College, and now a graduate of Columbia School of Social Work. Next fall, Ash will return as a first-year doctoral candidate here at CSSW. Ash is the vice president of the Association of Black Social Workers at Columbia University, a student advisor for the Action Lab, a research assistant at the Safe Lab, a Beyond the Bars fellow alum, and the lead facilitator of Umoja Circles. He's also a co-editor of the book entitled Unwritten: Stories from Behind and Beyond the Bars. He has moderated and co-moderated countless events throughout his tenure at CSSW, and as a first-generation graduate student, he shares in many of the lived experiences of the people he serves. He's an advocate for criminal justice reform, fathers who the Child Support Enforcement Unit has negatively impacted, and the mental health of young Black boys in academia. When he's not working to break the bondage of systemic oppression, you can find him spending time with his family. Ash, it's a pleasure.
Can you hear me? 1, 2, 3 into the 4. Snoop Dogg. Oh, no. Did she just sing it? I'm sorry. We'll save that for later. Peace, peace, peace. Welcome to Columbia, family and friends. Welcome to CSSW. Never in my wildest dreams did I imagine that I'll be here speaking to you today. See, 3 years ago, I was here on this very campus. Good afternoon, everyone. Faculty, family, friends, my fellow graduates, alumni, thank you. As I was saying, 3 years ago, I was here on this campus, but I came in on 116th in Amsterdam, the same way many of you came in here today. But parked out in front was a white cargo van, 2005 Ford, white and rusted out in the bottom. In the back of the van, I had a bunch of packages that needed to be delivered all throughout New York City. At the time, I was working as an owner-operator for a small trucking company that I had started. And this was my first time walking on Columbia University's campus. So as I came, I had my packages in hand, and I walked around, and I saw the same tent that we're probably in today. And I saw other students dressed in their regalia, taking professional pictures. I saw other students that were here wearing their apparel, the hoodies, the t-shirts, the hats. And all I could think to myself was, wow, I would love to be here. I can only imagine what it's like. But again, at that point in time, 3 years ago, I didn't even have my bachelor's degree. So as I walked in amazement, I could just feel the energy that's around Columbia during this time of year during commencement. It's electric. You can kind of feel it in your soul. So when I say I never imagined myself being here today, and now, as Dean Beck has said, now I have my bachelor's. Of course, you can fact check it. I also earned my master's, and just in a few months, I'll be here starting my doctoral pursuits. But one thing for sure is I don't know where I would be had I not made that delivery that day. I've been told no far more than I've ever been told yes. So again, it amazes me that I'm in this position that I am today. And many people come up to me and say, Ash, how did you do this? How did you persevere? How did you accomplish so many things? And my default response is that I know in my heart that I have all the tools intrinsically in order to complete the goals that I have set for myself. But it is in pursuit of the goals that my tools that I have inside will be sharpened, developed, and manifested, and at some point in time when it happens, actualized. So what I wanted to do today is share some of the tools that I know you all have within you today. And the first tool is grace. I heard in an interview once that grace is something that finds you where you're at today and leaves you better than when it first found you. For many of us, we started our time here at CSSW on our laptops. And on the other side of that laptop was our professors. Also tech support, as well as our students. Many of which we all became friends with. Some folks have even seen each other for the first time here today, myself included. I've seen many of you here for the first time in real life. But when we saw each other, we gave each other grace. We knew we were coming in and things were going on in the world that were difficult to deal with. And I can assure you, as graduates today, we're better off now than when we first came. So that was our grace. The next tool is patience. Now, I know many of you might think you don't have patience, like, you know what, I'm ready for this to be over. We've been talking for a while. I'm tired of CSSW. I'm ready to go make some money. But trust me, you have patience. And if you don't believe me, think about that time just a few weeks ago. It's called registration. Maybe it's just me, but at times I felt like there was more students than there were seats and classes offered. I could be wrong. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's just me. And it seemed like and it seemed as though every time there was this amazing elective that you wanted to take that was taught by the professor, one of the people that you probably came here for, it was always at the same time a required class was given, and it was only one section. So it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Okay. Who took those classes? But yeah, you remember appointment times, wait list, holds, all that stuff. So yeah, we have patience. And next would be advocacy. From orientation, we were taught to advocate for ourselves, for our loved ones, and for our community. So together we stood in solidarity and fought for causes throughout our tenure here at CSSW. Now, talking about advocacy, I would be remiss if I didn't say anything to my now colleagues in the PhD program for the great advocacy that you all did last year. Thank you. And then the last tool is love. Understand that social work can only be performed from inside. We're only vessels, and our relationship with love allows us to show up and to help people in ways in which we're asked to. So remember to lead with love and use it as the foundation for all your relationships. Now, once we leave here, some people's lives, well-being, safety will rest solely on the decisions and recommendations that comes from us. Gatekeepers will work tirelessly to ensure that we fall in line and maintain the well-oiled machine of systematic oppression and inequality. I urge you all to fight like you've done before. And I'll be the first to tell you that life is gonna knuck. And sometimes you'll have to buck. And in the words of the great scholars, you might have to knuck if you buck. Now I want to take this time to thank all the people that have helped me get here today. But I want to do a disclaimer first. There's some people that I didn't put on the list because we would be here for a while. So, I told everyone individually I all love you. So if you didn't make this list, please forgive me. Just know I love you. In no particular order, I want to start with the first social worker I've ever known, a woman that worked without a title and without the training, and that's my mother, Betty Cole. Despite only having a high school level education, you've cared for, supported, treated countless people, countless children that weren't your own. And you embody many of the ethics in which we have to follow as social workers. Thank you, Mom. Next, I want to thank my father, Ashley Cole Sr. Although you're not here with us today, you've since transitioned, I can feel your presence here with me today, and I'm reminded of you every time I look in the mirror, because I have your nose. I want to thank you for teaching me what hard work looks like and teaching me the importance of legacy. And then next, I would have to thank my beautiful wife, Dr. Crystal Haskin Cole. Thank you for supporting me throughout this process, and as I continue the other process. I'll stop soon, I promise. Thank you for teaching me about love. Thank you for teaching me how to love you, how to love myself, and how to love our family. Next, I want to thank my namesake, my son, the young bull, Ash Cole III. I'm junior, he's a third. Son, your bravery always inspires me. And I want to thank you for pushing me to be here today and telling me to live the life of my dreams, and you hold me accountable like I hold you accountable. Thank you, son. And next, of course, I got to thank my dearest joy, Princess Joy, has been both my Achilles heel as well as my inspiration throughout this program. Many of you have all seen her as she attends 100% of my Zoom meetings. And she's sat with me more than 80-90% of the courses that I've taken throughout my tenure here. And she's an unofficial social worker at this point. Honey, I want to thank you for always keeping me humble and always reminding me that there's more to do than just school and work. And then next, I want to thank all the faculty and staff for everything. Every opportunity, every conversation has meant more to me than you've ever known. And I want to send a special thanks to Dr. Ovita Williams, Feel well soon. Dr. Susan Whitting. The good brother, Dr. Desmond Patton. Dean Melissa Begg. Dr. Felucia Otiello. Dr. Amy Capadia. Doctors Ronald and Flona Mincy. Joe Turpin. Eva, oh, sorry. Go, give us some love. Eva Gordon. Darrell Washington. Anderson Smith. Nathan. Aviv. Serafina. Milagros Anastigi. Where you at, Milagros? David Stevens. Natasha Stantos. And of course, my guardian angel, Dean Carmelo. And then, in the words of the young folks, I'm not gonna hold y'all, but I just gotta give a couple more people a shout out. My Beyond the Bars family, my Emoji Circles family, my Safe Lab family, my Action Lab family, the Advisory Get Fresh crew, Association of Black Social Workers, all of my classmates, all of my professors, friends, front desk security, staff, and maintenance for always greeting me and speaking life into me. And before I go, I just want to leave you with two things that was said to me by the great urban scholar. We were having dinner the other day. You might know him. His name is Fat Joe. He once in a song said, "Nothing can stop us. We're all the way up." So I'm here to tell you all graduates that nothing can stop us. We're all the way up. I got one more, I'm sorry. And then I know in the next couple of weeks, we're gonna start looking for employment and start consulting, start doing psychotherapy and stuff like that. I want people to remember their worth and to know their worth. And again, the great scholar, Fat Joe himself, told me this personally. And when you go and you meet with people and you start to negotiate and talk about your worth, I want you to remember this phrase and look them dead in the eye and say to them that yesterday's price is not today's price. Thank you.
Ash, thank you for that. You are such an inspiration. Good afternoon. I'm gonna do it one more time. Good afternoon. My name's Lenara Davidson Greenidge, and I am the new Associate Dean for Communication Strategy Development and Alumni Affairs. Congratulations, class of 2022, a huge milestone. As new graduates, you will join the worldwide network of nearly 350,000 alumni. I urge each of you to connect to both the School of Social Work's Alumni Association, as well as to Columbia University's Alumni Association, also known as CAA, which maintains over 100 international and domestic clubs and shared interest groups. But today, I'm here to award the Campbell Award to Trina Nurse. Trina? The Campbell Award was established by the University Trustees and Board of the Columbia Alumni Association in 2016. The CAA presents this award to a graduating student at each school who shows exceptional leadership and Columbia spirit as exemplified by the late Bill Campbell, Columbia alumnus, Chair Emeritus, University Trustees, and CAA's co-founder. Now more about Trina. She is a proud mother of 4. And attended school full-time. She is part of our online campus and was selected for a very competitive accelerated policy practice program where students immediately began their advanced policy studies in their first semester. She is a co-leader of the First Generation Lower Socioeconomic Status Caucus, founder and leader of the Parent and Caregiver Caucus, co-leader of the Latinx Caucus, and vice president of the Student Union, just to name a few. Trina exemplifies the Columbia spirit. She is caring, dedicated, and committed to serving others. Please join me in congratulating Trina Nurse, CSSW's 2022 Campbell Award recipient.
Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. Thank you, Lenara. I'm very honored to receive the Campbell Award, but I'm actually at the podium to give an award. I stand up here today on behalf of the Columbia School of Social Work Student Union Teaching Awards Committee, which is composed of Dan DeBruckner, Jojo Lee, Diane Sulstinugram, Oshu Gatanaga, and myself, to present the first ever Student Union Award for Teaching Excellence. Students were asked to nominate faculty who have shown a commitment to power, race, oppression, and privilege, and are involved and engaged outside of the classroom, as well as outside of Columbia University. I am honored to present the inaugural 2021-2022 Student Union Award for Teaching Excellence to Dr. Jillian Tucker. Dr. Jillian Tucker received the highest scores on her course feedback forms for the classes that she taught: Social Work Practice 2 and Contemporary Social Issues. And she also received the most nominations from the students for this honor. A nominator shared, she always, to a fault, acknowledged her position in educational and therapeutic spaces. She wove concepts of power and control, cultural and historical mythologies of dominance and race into every class. Another student shared, her classroom presence is kind, humorous, and mesmerizing. Dr. Jillian, DSW, LCSW, has taught clinical practice and contemporary social issues at Columbia School of Social Work since 2020. She received her doctorate and her master's in clinical social work from NYU and her bachelor's degree in philosophy from Brown University. She trained at the Ackerman Institute for the Families and is an EMDR International Association certified clinician. She works with combat veterans through the Headstrong Project and is in private practice. She formerly worked at Weill Cornell Outpatient Substance Misuse Clinic, Midtown Center for Treatment and Research, where she was a social worker intern field supervisor. Congratulations, Dr. Tucker, on behalf of Student Union and CSSW, Class of 2022.
All right, congratulations once again to our award winners, Trina Nurse and Jillian Tucker. Thank you. At this point in the program, I'm thrilled to introduce our doctoral program chair, Dr. Carmela Alcantara. Dr. Carmela Alcantara is the Associate Dean for Doctoral Education and an Associate Professor of Social Work. Her interdisciplinary research integrates psychology, public health, social work, and medicine to understand how structural and social factors affect sleep. Wanda Holland Green, affect sleep. Mental health and cardiovascular health, particularly in race, ethnic, and immigrant communities. Dr. Alcantara translates epidemiological findings on social determinants of health to the development of culturally and contextually informed, evidence-based behavioral interventions to promote health equity. Her research examines the ecological relationship between sleep, self-regulation, and health behaviors in Latino and Latina adults, and she is director of the Sleep, Mind, and Health Research Program at the Columbia School of Social Work. She also studies barriers and facilitators to Latino and Latina surveillance health data disaggregation and the use of e-health to expand access to evidence-based psychological interventions for insomnia in racial, ethnic, and immigrant communities. Her work has been supported by the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, the National Institute of Mental Health, the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation, the W.K. Kellogg Foundation, the Irving Institute for Clinical and Translational Research at Columbia, and the Office of the Provost at Columbia University. Dr. Alcantara previously served as an associate research scientist in the Department of Medicine at Columbia University Irving Medical Center. She completed a clinical internship at NYU Bellevue Hospital Center and was a Kellogg Health Scholars Program postdoctoral fellow at the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Dr. Alcantara holds a B.A. in psychology and sociology with a concentration in Latina and Latino studies from Cornell University and an M.A. and a Ph.D. in clinical psychology from the University of Michigan. Please welcome Dr. Carmela Alcantara.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Dean Begg, and good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes, and congratulations, graduates. You look beautiful. Yes. It is with great pleasure that I present to you the 2022 recipients of the Doctorate of Philosophy from the Columbia School of Social Work. These exceptional individuals have completed a long and arduous journey during one of the most challenging times in modern history. Through their hard work, perseverance, and accomplishments, they have demonstrated to us that they fully deserve the honor that is bestowed upon them today. With this honor comes great responsibility to advance science and to train, support, and inspire future generations of social workers. Our graduates are prepared for these challenges. Here are the new leaders of our profession, and we are very proud of their achievements. You guys ready? All right. Professor Susan Whitty will present Dr. Prema Filippone. I will present Dr. Luciana Andrea Giorgio Cosenso. Professor Chingao will present Dr. Sam Han. On behalf of Professor Jane Walfogel, I present to you Dr. Sarah Ji-yoon Kwan. Professor Elwin Wu will present Dr. Young Gun Y.G. Lee. Professor Nabila El-Bassel will present Dr. Charlotte McCullough. Congratulations again, class of 2022.
Congratulations to our 2022 recipients of the Doctor of Philosophy degree from Columbia School of Social Work. You're wonderful. It is now time for the Master's Recitation of Names. Graduates, please come forward as directed.
Samya Munawar Gill. Meryl Deepa Meneses. Shayna Shalson. Nicole P. Meeker. Nicole Monique Larkins. Yanislaidi Martinez. Christine Anna Reyna. Claudia Setere. Georgia Grace Fair. Sarah Akbar Kassam. Mandy Christine Ruckman. Bonnie Arlene Walker. Catherine Livingston Friedman. Chelsea Morgan Crawford. Rena Arabella Palero. Allison Michelle Prince. Abigail Mary Skinner. Sabel Strachan. Amber Lewis. Charity Laura Mostafa. Cassandra Michelle Matelier. Megan Ramchal. Emily Mabel Cruz. Wadie Meher Fauzi Zehedi. Ronnie Dana Eisenberg. Jacqueline Vanderpool. Alessandra Naco. Miles Henry Roberts. Jessica Taylor Washing. Margot Elise Abrahams Dijon. Dali Matos. Fidelia G. Sumera Mia. Christopher Kelly Daniels. Solomon Suh. Tianyu Zhang. Shiyi Chen. Shuang Li. Jingjin Lai. Hasmin Marcella Yamoka. Allison Rivera. Jonathan R. Kelly. Catherine Elizabeth Zhao. Madeline Ruth Mulcahy. Rebecca Myrtle Olaiwola. Ashley M. Kanarik. Grace Chen. Jennifer Song. Crystal Diaz. Kimmy Huang. Julia Isabel Babcock Bellingham. Michaela Nicholas. Michelle Gelband. Jennifer Lakshmi Rowan. John Jesamaria. David Demetrius Robertson. Araceli Pimentel. Amizadai Caceres. Colleen Giles Timms. Catherine Seacrest Tchaikovsky. Ken Lopez. Joy Zhang. Divya Nair. Danica Corona. Raylene Rose Wong. Eliana Joy Gottlieb Haas. Sean Pierre Cobb. Sandra Marie Perez. Samantha Ilana Giordano. Amanda Louise McAllister. Batya Gross Weinstock Strolovitz. Widlin Tiara Kernizan. Dawn Vandeveer. Tiara Smith. William K. White. Angela Herrera. Marisa Humans Pierce, Gabrielle Bautista, Alana Fox, Brisa Maria Trinidad, Nayana Shrestha, Sundos Musa Sharaf, Morgan Leanne Blythe, Riley Ann Jakir, Alejandro Rodriguez, Javita Indra Noth, Alyssa Mackenzie Marshall, Alexis Nicole Hajarizadeh, Hao Jae Wang, Kartika Fitrianingsi, Vanessa I. Lawson, Jacqueline Jean, Oluseyi Olarufunmi Shagun, McKenna Leanne Mogan, Amanda Maxwell, Rebecca Michelle Blackenton, Catherine Mary Pace, Annalisa Minello, Alexa Marie Manco, Megan Elise Creasy, Camaria Guy Nyami Excel, Deidre Danielle Verche Brooks, Erica LaShawn Autry Williams, Ashley Penny Diaz, Dakota Ray Driscoll, Anissa Joy Leonard, Ronald Francis Hogan, Suyag Adhikari, Alexander Alyang, Sasha Nicole Cabin, Mateo Chavez, Taylor Nicole Nash, Shayla Nichols, Zahanara Akhtar, Sophia Pizzarello, Alexa Nicole Schwartz, Sierra Roche Magruder, Stella Jane Park, Tara Abawi, Sarah Bernie Swinson, Manasa Sulochana Gade, Sarah Annabelle Butler, Jessica Ruth Greenwald, John Connor Callahan, Mary Alice Jackson, Katerina Bartel, Ariel Sarah Alford, Jacqueline Beatrice Peacock, Haley Sarah Fuchs, Madhumita Prakash, Varsha Kinariwala, Lily Norinda Sari, Kaylin M. Hosokawa, Ting Yi Zhao, Yumin Shin, Sonia Janice Abuel Saud, Cynthia Hornig, Clara Elizabeth Wilson, Avery Jane Carmichael. Michelle Falco. Emily Sauvert. Su Yun Bian. Lily Zhang. Antigone Archer. Sydney Rubin. Jessica Brooke Strasser. Brian Douglas King. Jennifer Rudd. Melissa Alejandra Hernandez. Makita Johannes. Jiarei Shi. Zitong Lee. Daniel James DeBrooker. Gabrielle Cassandra Jones. April Molly Ave Azusada. Shoshana Paperney. Juliana Michelle Graham. Hannah Emily Litt. Abigail Yilek Yip. Gina Kim. Jessica Linda Schneider. Merv Revna Ozdemar. Talia Lee Davis Day. Alaire Brisbane Heisig. Nadira Saban. Christian Marie Helen Marquardt. Lila Celine Glansman Lieb. Ariana Michaela Wertheimer. Henry Jordan. Joelle Perlin. Samantha Martinez. Michelle Subin Yoon. Logan Madison Pace. Brittany Ashley Macaluso. Marissa Dene Rodriguez Gomes. Hannah Walter. Gabriella M. Araya. Althea Tamara Villiers. Chrislyn Rose LaCroix. Maris Opsal. Elizabeth Duncan Gillette. Niyat Kabede Tiferi. Bailey Francis. Gregory Scott Weintraub. Charlotte Erb. Courtney Smith. Megan Elizabeth Bennett. Karen Nicole Quiche. Nicole Caroline Davis. Fiona Anderson Fisher. Karishma Nagrani. Chloe Friedman. Gabriella Leonora Jaquin. Christina Ignatiadis. Natalia Rincon. Linda Jean Strahan. Janessa Chasky. Nikita Sky Yates. Bilgay Felek. Abigail Payne Miley. Emma Uribe. Ninette Patel. Darby Nagpal. Courtlyn Shimada. Bianca Castro. Samantha April Ratzavong. Logan Elizabeth Tootle. Thomas Wen. Yash Srivastav. Hai Jen Lee. Simrit Sani. Lindsay Marie Nyland. Shireen Awad. Maria Baldova. Lauda Danielle Molinar. Malia Holiday Mead. Rachel Teresa Schlegel. Gui Deanna Sulestianingram. Yuan Chang. Daniel Sanchez. Sarah Phillips. Abner Valenzuela. Madeline Riley White. Jessica Rose Klein. Jacqueline Patrice Lord. Erin Michelle Vandertye. Margaret Darcy Holt. John Dean Rulo. Carson Perkins. Devani Howard. Zoe Mariana Johnson. Rebecca Janine Dudley. Rebecca Lee Keenan. Corinne Elise Olson. Elizabeth Keating Sands. Jane Elizabeth Reel. Samuel Brown. Alexia Spinney. Cody Jean Plant. Jasmine Rivera Hackley. Brittany Miller. Sarah B.B. Sumner. Nicole Porter. Julia Holmes Howard. Mariela Noeli Ramos. Aranza Isabel Ayorve Miranda. Kareen Takahashi. Kelly Margareta Stevens Jackson. Dorothea S. Stefanu. Kristen Rebecca Silvernail. Nicole Rose Cohen. Jacqueline Eileen Zingman. Emma Blackman. Lauren Simon. Alexandra Sarah Ross. Rebecca Emma Kaplan. Jess La Liberte. Matthew Scott Wilner. Joanna Lien. Janie Lynn Mai. Lauren E. Ranoski. Jennifer Jacobs. Elizabeth Ann Steckler. Noah Robert LeClaire, Marissa Brianne Lowe, Danielle Lucille Delaquila, Rachel Zawodzki, Holly Marie Hodgson, Lindsay Catherine Arata, Andrea M. Chavez, Raymond West, Gabriela Maria Motorhon, Nina Jarislaw, Catherine O'Brien, Ruth Ann Thomas Sue, Mariam Abuquake, Aaron Rhodes, Rita Gonzalez, Shifty Kamal, Angelica Marie Lopez, Joanna Elizabeth Anda Bellerin, Monica Perez Jauregui, Tiffany Lane Burkhead, Angela Amelia Romero Pastor Jaime, Mark George de Guzman, Micah K. Amos, Janae Marie Johnson, Mia de Jesus Martin, Bailey Huckabee, Emma Famili, Brielle M. Stovall, Ilana Lipkin, Carly Grace Reiner, Jonathan Allen Berg, Kaylin Brito Cologne, Mani Naticha Gwaltney, Dandan Chen, Lucky Lunem Hernandez, Aida Natalie Castro, August Chi Ming J, Juliet Anna Pfeiffer, Emily Ward, Allison Tipaldo, Karina Patricia Escobar, Brooke Nicole Martinez, Xavier Jamar Eiffel, Stephanie Salazar, Andrea Aware, Maggie Rowan, Mary Grace Ellen Sabinal Villanueva, Songwen Wang, Nicholas Moses Hakimi, Jessica Snyder, Sarah Bloomstone, Olivia Kate Rothside, Teresa Wang, Dingxing Hu, Bo Yan, Xuan Jia, Hannah Wong, Shanna Almonte, Ginevra Rose Frank, Jennifer Zhao, Kylie Gavin Letty. Chime Palmo. Jiayu Liu. Yuhan Guo. Amy Wan. Kelsey Catherine Losi. Voldeci Batista Florian. Jennifer Mosby. Fang Xu. Dawood Mayom Shwol Mayom. Sophie Lipman. Birtukan Balete. Christina Elizabeth Escobar. Wei Xin Huang. Alexandra Lachelle. Miriam Ehrlich. Mahin Ajaz. Sarah Kendall Saunders Feynman. Lily Sar Graykar. Sylvia Marcillo. Danielle Miriam Shapiro. Emily Ledbetter. Amelia Esteves McManus. Maya Sidier. Naomi Lee Edwards. Cecilia McNally Kinane. Anna Guerrero. Michelle Joan DeMars. Renata Bentes de Oliveira Lirio. Amelia Bass. Idan Falek. Emmy Sachiko Bakan. Priscilla Gonçalves Asing. Junying Wu. Rachel Ann Cherner. Zoe Avery Chase Donahue. Maggie Fitzsimmons. Ariella Gross. Hannah Bluestein. Paige Friedman. Joshua Jeffrey Gross. Christine Margaret Morrissey. Timothy Teshik O. Mehmet Haki Captain. Mario Ernesto Gomez Tejerina. Rodolfo Casals. Michaela Greeley. Emily Bolden. Katerina Siracusa Montenegro. Alexis Michel Lima. Kate Nassoff. Ella K. Laniado. Sophia Israel Ancona. Nithya Venkatramani. Tori Maidenberg. Jessica Melendez Stein. Katie Hines. Elizabeth Ha. Madeline Dopico. Fajr Alatar. Haley Elizabeth Nelson. Sharmin Sharovi Moshumi. Isabella Gabaldon. Ishrat Sultana. Haley Elise Kabasa. Rachel Kagan. Sophia Elena Shackner Hockman. Natasha Louise Witt. Jennifer Benson. Megumi Naito. Ava Mila Burston. Natalie Camacho Huerta. Adam Belay. Karen Ariela Blanco Narvaez. Tanya Friedland. Jennifer Lopez Jimenez. Nicholas David Tolliver. Leah Grace Surf. Laura Levitt. Yael Denise Nachahon. Esther Neo. Julie Stroud. Juan Yue. Vaughn Kurtenbach. Rosalind Janae Jones. Christina Marie Crehan. Tracy So. Sarah Crosswell. Nicole Lee Ross. Brianna Julia Gill. Rebecca Ann Lamont. Michael Effiong Isaac Inkarawam. Sylvie Kraus. Sharisa Alicia Abaspor. Sonia Jane. Nikita Rahman. Troy Mariko Harris. Olivia Cordingly. Susanna Rose Post. Kristen McGee. Andrea N. Fenewald. Etsegenet Kadir Mohammed. Danielle Lewis. Simone Russell. Eliani Esperanza Myers. Amy Noel Wilcox. Gael Botex. Marisa Boyasola Beckley. Crystal Bianca Parker. Catherine Marie Leonard. Jessica Lopez Reyna. Jonathan Martinez. Stefania Imelda Jackson. Danielle Marie Farrell. Philip William Tureen. Allison Patricia Loro. Sarah Murray. Catherine Muldoon. Jackson Aaron Mittler. Michaela J. Berry. Stephanie Julia Scamufo. Latanya Lidge. Ashley Alexander Cole Jr. Trina Nurse. Josie Brown. Wendy Sitlali Garibe Monhe. Chloe Renee Jackson. Margaret Josephson. Elizabeth Ann Lenke. Cadence Mieko Sky Mitchell. Rachana Rajesh Patel. May Lynn Pratt. Haley Elizabeth Romer. Sophie Clot Siegel. Avantika Shanoy. Kendra Elise Smith. Jordan Marie Stearns. Sarah Weissman. Eliza Kate Wicks Arshak. Lauren Selma Bell.
Yay! Congratulations, class of 22. On behalf of the school, I would like to extend our appreciation to the members of the graduation team and staff volunteers all around here who worked so hard. They worked so hard to make this day special and memorable for all of you graduates and for your parents, your families, your friends, your loved ones who've joined us here in the rain under the tents to celebrate your achievements. As Dean of the School, I now declare this graduation ceremony to be over. Well done.
We ask that all social work graduates exit to the right side of the sundial stage. Please move forward and exit to the right. Friends and family, we ask that...